All right. Hi, everyone. Just making sure I'm recording. As I did last time for the Mothering and Divine Feminine series, I'm going to be sharing kind of not a replay, but an adaptation of the Reparenting meditation circle that I did earlier. We just finished up and it was a really great session. If doing this in community is something that you feel would benefit you, I would highly recommend you do so. The meditation group is every Sunday, and you can find the link to that down below in the show notes. So it'll be a little bit different, of course, because the format is just different, but I will take you on the meditation journey and give you the information that you would have gotten if you had come to the Divine Masculine and Refathering session this week. So if you haven't listened or watched the kind of replay-y thing of Remothering and Divine Feminine, you can go ahead and go back a couple episodes or a couple videos, and you should be able to find that. I'll briefly go over what we talked about last time. So I'm using this yin and yang sign as a symbol. If you're listening to this podcast version, you can't see it. If you're on YouTube, you can. The black part, this part down here, is the yin, which is the feminine space. That feminine space is very intuitive, free-flowing, creative. And the masculine space is this white yang. And so the masculine really holds space for the feminine. And I'll go into some of the characteristics right now. We can see this represented by the full moon. The feminine would be more represented by the new or dark moon. Divine masculine energy is very present. It holds space. Like I said, it's very decisive. Unbalanced can look like being very indecisive. Divine masculine energy has firm boundaries that are not too loose, not too hard. Very logic oriented. The feminine side is perhaps more emotionally driven, intuitive driven, and then the masculine is a bit more logic oriented. It takes divinely inspired action that it gets from that intuitive feminine part, and then it has the action of the masculine. It's focused, and we also see it represented in summertime. So we're in the summertime here on this hemisphere, so we can see that symbol of masculine energy. In the summertime, it's lively, it's stable, protective, and meets the wants and needs. I said this last time, but I should say it this time as well. We all have a balance of masculine and feminine energies within us, no matter our sexual orientation or our gender identity or expression. I'm a woman and identify as a woman, but I also have masculine energy. And so when we talk about masculine and feminine, we aren't talking about sex or gender, we're talking about the energy. Just to let you all know. So either blocked masculinity, black masculine, or too much masculine could look like the toxic patriarchal system that we're in right now. And more information on the toxic patriarchy will be to come. Toxic capitalism. So capitalism is not inherently bad, but in a toxic capitalistic environment, it's going, not resting, and putting your worthiness on what you produce. Imbalanced masculine energy can look like being manipulative, overthinking, overdoing. So, always producing, needing to be acting, not being able to rest, controlling, rigid. So the balanced would look like being focused, planned with logic and attention to detail, but rigidity would be the opposite. It would be too much of that energy. Aggression, that could look like anger, either intense bouts of anger or even repressed anger. Overly competitive with yourself or with others. In the circle, someone shared that she felt very competitive with her siblings. So I thought that was really interesting. And anxiety. I don't know if we covered this in the last session, but too much yin or feminine energy could look like depression or lethargicness, and not enough energy, Whereas too much masculine looks like too much energy and anxiety and that need to be doing, and not being able to rest. And so connecting with the divine masculine will look like seeing where we have too much and too little of each energy. And so if you have too much feminine energy, connecting with the divine masculine would be balancing out and having more masculine energy. And if you have excessive masculine energy, that would look like going into that rest and balancing out with having more feminine energy. So that would be one way to connect, is to balance it out. The inner warrior is a great archetype to imagine and embody as you connect with the divine masculine. Having healthy boundaries, both internally, so with your habits, with your thoughts, with your actions, etc. Maybe even not scrolling too much, not watching too much TV, with what you eat, and then also external boundaries with people who drain you, with plans that you make, with work that you agree to, etc. Planning, a healthy amount of planning is very masculine. Exercising, anything that's a bit more cardio. In our last session, we did yin yoga together. And so the opposite of that would be something a bit more energetic. I'll skip this. Financial planning, just having that organization and being the provider of yourself. Or if you aren't your financial provider, speaking to who is and getting on the same page, working on your confidence and your self-esteem and your worthiness, and witnessing your emotions. So last time we talked about how the yin, or the feminine, has the emotion, it is more emotional, and then the masculine witnesses the emotions and holds space for them. And then I'll go back to the symbolism bullet point. The yin yang is a very powerful symbol, which is why I've used it in this series. And so you can maybe have that around, you can have a little drawing of it, or you can make it the background of your phone that you'll have boundaries with, just as a little reminder for that balance. Night is usually associated with feminine, dark time, and the daytime, or the sun, is usually associated with masculine. So if you're wanting to embody that masculine energy, perhaps picturing the sun, picturing those bright colors, moon cycles, attuning yourself with the moon, kind of imagining that full moon if that's what you need, or working with gods versus goddesses. And that's not for everyone, but sometimes when I feel like I need more of a masculine presence in my spirituality, I pray more towards a masculine god, or if I need the opposite, more feminine approach, I'll symbolize a goddess, or I'll pray more to the earth, something more softer. And I know it's not for everyone. This is what we would have done. So instead of doing a check-in, of course, circle form, we'll just do a check-in with ourselves, dropping into how we're feeling. Just noticing any feelings or emotions that may be coming up, what you're entering this space with, and then thinking about what an ideal father figure is to you. Some of the things that people mentioned were stability, providing. One woman's father was at work a great deal, so that's what she associates. All-knowing was another one. So just having that concept in the back of your mind of what an ideal father would be like for you. And then we'll go ahead and dive into a meditation. I'll play some background music. Go ahead and get comfortable. You can sit or lay down, either one is perfectly fine. However, what I usually say is to make sure that your spine is straight, allowing for that free flow of energy from the top of your head to the base of your spine. Melting into the music that you're listening to in the background, melting into this moment, this time, this space that you get to meditate and take for yourself. Getting into a comfortable position, adjusting any clothes, grabbing a pillow or blanket. This is something we've done on the guided meditations before, but we'll do again. Let's do some pranayama together, some alternate nostril breathing. So if you're watching the YouTube video, you can see me showing you how to do this, but I'll narrate if you're listening to the podcast. So I'm going to use my right hand because that's my dominant hand. I'm going to use my thumb and my ring finger, or you can use your pinky finger. And I'm going to place the thumb on my right nostril. And then I'm going to breathe in through my open left nostril, hold, and then switch, taking either my pinky finger or my ring finger and placing on the opposite nostril, the left nostril, and breathing out. Then go ahead and breathe back in through that right nostril. Switch. Exhale out the left nostril. Then you'll inhale through that same one. Switch nostrils and breathing out the other side. We'll go ahead and continue that for a few moments. I'll be doing it on the screen, but I will mute myself so the sound of my breath doesn't bother you. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and just balance out each side. Going back to a regular breathing pattern and noticing how your body feels after that breath technique. One person in the circle today shared that they felt some tension in their chest as they breathed consciously for the first time that day. So maybe notice if there's any resistance to the breath. I know that I feel very invigorated. Perhaps you will place a hand on your heart, noticing how it feels to connect with the body. Now that we have more information on what fathering and masculine energy looks like, we're going to explore our own unbalanced masculine energy and our own father wounds. But as I give you some information, keep your eyes closed, just noticing how your body's reacting, how your thoughts are reacting, perhaps keeping that hand on your chest. Breathing into the nose, feeling the stomach expand with air. And exhaling through the nose, feeling the warm air on the tip of your nose, feeling the belly go back in towards spine. Those who have experienced a father wound may have felt neglect from a father or masculine parent figure. There might have been absence from that father figure, so perhaps he just wasn't around at all. Perhaps your parents divorced or they were separated. Perhaps one of them died, passed away, or even just an emotional absence, One woman shared that her dad just wasn't emotionally available, he just wasn't there. Another shared that hers was off at work. And so even though he was protecting and providing, and her adult self knew why, the younger child felt abandoned. Perhaps there was abuse from the father or father figure. Abuse can look like mental, physical, sexual, spiritual abuse. Perhaps there was control. The father figure was very domineering, very controlling of you, of the household, of your mother, of your siblings. Perhaps there was withholding of love or affirmations. Perhaps you were only valued on what you could do, what you could bring. And just noticing how your body feels, hearing that. What's coming up in your body and where is it coming up for you? Breathing into those parts, breathing into that hand on your chest or even hand on your stomach. Knowing that you are safe in this moment, you are safe in this space, and recognizing that uncomfortable feelings are a part of healing. Feeling your breath coming into your body, filling you up, and feeling the exhale come out your body. And with your exhales, perhaps letting go of fear, of doubt, of shame, or judgment. Perhaps you didn't have a bad relationship with your father. Patriarchy also can create that father wound. If you're someone like me who identifies as a woman, perhaps you've experienced the trauma and oppression of the male gaze, or felt that you needed to earn your worthiness based on the approval of different men in your life. Or if you're a man, you may have also felt the pressures of the patriarchy, the pressures of society, leading to that imbalance of masculine energy in yourself. Remembering to connect with the breath, connect with your body. Perhaps listening to the music in the background, feeling it soothe you. This wound can lead to low self-esteem or low confidence, anxiety, anger or aggression, a mistrust of men or others in general, no boundaries or too rigid of boundaries, or both, seeking emotionally unavailable partners, seeking external validation or avoiding relationships altogether, being very closed off. It could look like a fear of abandonment. And if your spiritual practice or religion includes a male god as your deity of choice, this could have created an imbalance in your religious or spiritual health with God. Noticing how this is sitting in your body. Noticing any thoughts, any feelings that are coming up. Breathing into that hand on your heart or hand on your belly. You may have felt an emotional stirring in parts of your body. You may have felt a connection to your inner child. Notice where in the body you have these feelings, if it's a constriction in the chest, if it's queasiness in your stomach or a tightness in the pit of your stomach, if it's a tension in the face, in the jaw, in the hands, in the shoulders. Just noticing without judgment. Maybe in the throat. If you had to name these emotions, what would you name them? perhaps grief, guilt, fear, shame, sadness, anger, a mix of emotions may be coming up for you, and that is perfectly okay and allowed. There could also be a sense of relief in hearing this aloud. Maybe you're connecting the dots. Just keep breathing, sitting with these reactions. Perhaps you've even been running from some of these feelings. And that's because these feelings are uncomfortable. They bring up uncomfortable memories. This work is not to blame the father that you didn't have, but to bring you a sense of understanding so that you can eventually empower yourself to find peace and become your own higher daughter, connect with your higher self. This work is not to make you feel like a victim, it's to make you feel empowered and aware. Sitting with yourself in this way tells your body, tells your mind, tells your inner child that all parts of you are welcome at this time. Breathing. Starting to come back into the present moment. Go ahead and grab your journal. I'm going to turn up the music so that you can either journal or sit in meditation. I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes. Usually in the group, they're a little bit longer, but you can always pause this replay if you need more time. Go ahead and journal about what the ideal father is for you and how this differs, perhaps from the father you grew up with or didn't grow up with. And you can maybe journal about your options, what came up for you around the father. I'll go ahead and mute myself and turn off my camera as you journal, and I'll turn up the sound as well. Alrighty, welcome back. If we were doing the live circle, we would share. There's an option to share, but for this case, let's just put our journals away and come back to a meditative space. Coming back to a comfortable position. Breathing and grounding back in the body, back in this space. Allowing space for everything that you've written, everything that came up, everything that you feel and think. One person shared that she noticed there were a lot of different parts of her that she was integrating. Perhaps you notice a lot of little parts, giving those parts blessings and gratitude, letting them know that they're welcome to join you as a whole person. Tapping into that breath now. Continuing to breathe, deepening the breath, feeling it enter through the nose, filling up your belly with air, and then feeling it go out your nose, feeling the belly contract in towards spine. Being our own father means loving ourselves, giving ourselves affirmations no matter what we've done, setting those conscious and loving boundaries with ourselves and with others. Not being fearful of making decisions and caring for ourselves. Being your own father means giving yourself that unconditional love and space. Witnessing your emotions without trying to fix them, without judging them. Allowing yourself space for all the mixed emotions that may be coming up. Giving yourself space for joy and pain, for sadness and gratitude, for confusion and clarity, for anger and peace, whatever that looks like for you. Breathing into this subliminal space of being your own inner child and your own loving father, of being your own higher self and lower self, of being in the light and in the dark, of hurting, of healing, of growing and going backwards. Giving yourself grace and permission, of feeling and releasing, of holding that masculine and the feminine, of being the mother and the father. And we're going to practice a grounding exercise. If you can, plant both of your feet on the ground, on the floor, on the earth. Ideally, so the foot is flat on the surface of the floor, the ground. And I'll invite you now to imagine a warm, yellow, golden light in your solar plexus area or just your core area, right underneath the breastbone, above the navel. And imagine as it glows, it's also moving down, going past the hips, through the thighs, through the kneecaps, down the shins, down the calves, through the ankles, through the bones of the feet, and now directly from the soles of your feet into the floor, the earth, the ground, traveling down, perhaps traveling through cement or concrete until it hits the earth, the dirt. Feeling this energy flow down into the earth, and this yellow energy, this golden light, continues going down into the dirt, down further, feeling that energy root you into the earth. Perhaps you see the roots of trees reaching past those snaking roots down to the core of the earth, feeling that energetic tie that you've created with visual imagery root you down into the earth. And on your exhales, maybe you imagine that you're releasing negative energy, negative emotions down past your legs into the earth, and letting the earth absorb what's no longer needed. Allowing yourself to feel rooted by the pull of the core of the earth, as you feel grounded into our home, our earth. Feeling your body relax with every exhale, letting something go. Giving back what no longer serves you back to the earth for her to take care of. And now I'll ask you to reverse the flow of energy now, imagining a red golden tie going back up past the roots of the trees, back up through the dirt, through the grass, through the floor of your home, and back into the soles of your feet, turning the soles of your feet a vibrant red. Going back up through your feet, through your legs, feeling that glow of red energy going in through your knees, up your thighs, past your hips, hitting that root chakra, invigorating you with this grounding, sacred energy as it travels up through the belly, through the core, through the back. Now up to the chest space, feeling your chest radiate glowing red. Up to your throat, back of the shoulders on down to the arms, the elbows glowing red with invigorating, life-giving energy, the wrists, the hands, the fingers, and that glowing red energy covers the neck up to the jaw, allowing that jaw to get heavy, relax, softening the tongue and the mouth. Red energy goes up through the face, relaxing the eyelids, going through the forehead until you're a glowing, human-sized ball of red, glowing energy. You can come back to your body now, leaving the image of yourself glowing red if that's what you choose to do. But feeling this life force surround you, feeling it invigorate you. We'll practice one more visual. As you breathe in, imagine the front part of your body is absorbing energy from the earth all the way up. Hold, and on the exhale, imagine that energy going back, the back of your body, down your back, the back of your legs, back of your knees, the calves, the feet going back into the earth, On an inhale, that energy comes back up, grounding earth energy, and then we release, sending what no longer serves us back into the earth through the back of our body. Inhale, energy comes up on the front of the body, invigorating us with life. And exhale everything we don't need down the back of the body, allowing it to come back to the earth where it can be replenished for others. Inhale, front of the body. Exhale, back to the body. This is a great way for you to find balance of giving and receiving, which is all the masculine and feminine energy does with each other. Giving, receiving, giving, receiving. Whenever you're ready, slowly opening your eyes, coming back to the present moment. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and journal about how you will create space for fathering yourself, creating space for the divine masculine. And when I'm recording this right now, yesterday was the start of Beltane, but we're in Beltane until the summer solstice or the beginning of summer. This is a time where the feminine and masculine energies merge and balance each other. But I thought it would feel perfect for this. I didn't plan that. So think about if this resonates with you. I'm going to share a song that I did with our group. Let me go ahead and pull it up. I'll turn that up louder. And I'll let you journal as you listen. Go ahead and mute myself.
I want you to hold me, come and lay with me.
Yay, I thought that was so much fun. I think everyone in the circle did too. The song is called Sixes to Nines by Big Wild, and I'll post a link to the music video in the show notes. Thank you so much for watching this replay. Again, meditations in the circle are more free-flowing than this. At this point, we would share how we planned on creating that space. I'll share with you mine, which is to create mindful boundaries with people who perhaps take from me, who don't get back to me, boundaries around my phone, boundaries with what I'm putting into my body. Let's see what else. That was mostly what I journaled about last time. Curious what you journaled about. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can put it in the comments. And so I did this during the circle as well. Go back. Okay. So if we were doing this in the circle, we would listen to Affirmations for Confidence by Affirmation Pod. She is one of my absolute favorite people to listen to meditations by. I won't do that now, but I will put a link to that affirmation in the show notes so you can listen to it on your own. Follow my Instagram at empowered.spirituality. You are already here to listen to more guided meditations. Donations are welcomed even for this, but certainly not required. It's not free for me to do these circles or these meditations, but it is free for you to consume. So if you feel like giving a donation, you can Venmo me at Samantha-Nagel-5 or PayPal at Samantha-Nagel8@gmail.com. And then we closed out the session by watching an 18-minute yoga video by Yoga with Adrienne, Reunite with Your Core Center. Perfect for the masculine energy that we were cultivating. I'll put the link to Adrienne's yoga video down below. She's one of my favorite yoga people to follow on YouTube, as well as many others' favorites. So if you enjoyed this, I will be doing an extended class. So right now I'm in the week where the free Meeting Your Intuition class just started. So once that has concluded and I've gotten feedback from that first free course, I might launch a reparenting course where we can really dive in and give each topic a little bit more attention so we can really focus on the inner child, on the inner mother, on the inner father, as well as divine masculine and feminine energies. So stay tuned for that. That will probably come in 2 or 3 months. Right now it's the beginning of May in 2021. Thank you so much for either watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed. And if you do want to find more of this community-centered meditation, journaling, fun atmosphere that the weekly circles present, feel free to join the circle. We meet every Sunday. Sometimes we even do in-person events in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm in the process now of planning a little summer retreat. So eventually we're going to do like a camping trip, something like that in New Mexico if you're from New Mexico. If not, we could also do a virtual retreat in some way. And without further ado, thank you so much for joining. Until next time.